Ever notice how some people command attention the moment they start speaking?
while others seem invisible, even when they're saying something important.
It's not about what they say, it's about how they say it.
And that's something anyone can learn.
Today on Talk, Learn, Teach, we're showing you how to stop sounding immature and start building real speaking confidence. Stay with us.
Welcome to Talk, Learn, Teach. I'm Marcus, and this is Lily. Thank you so much for being here with us today. If this is your first time watching, please hit that subscribe button.
We create content specifically designed to help English learners like you sound more confident, more professional, and more mature in their speech.
And share this episode with someone you know who's struggling to be taken seriously when they speak English. They need to hear this.
Absolutely. And Marcus, I want to start with something really personal. I used to feel invisible in meetings. I would have genuinely good ideas, but the moment I opened my mouth, I felt like people weren't really listening to me. It's like they looked right through me.
That must have been frustrating.
It was, and I couldn't understand why. I thought maybe my ideas weren't good enough. I thought maybe I wasn't smart enough. But then I had a realization.
What was that?
I realized it wasn't that my ideas were bad, it was how I was saying them. I was using words and phrases that made me sound younger than I actually am. I was using a lot of filler words like and like. I was qualifying everything I said. I was basically apologizing for my own thoughts before I even finished speaking them.
That's such an important realization, and I think so many people experience that and don't even realize what's happening.
Right? And the crazy part? Once I started changing how I spoke, people's reactions completely changed. The same ideas that nobody paid attention to before suddenly got real responses and real respect. People started engaging with what I was saying.
That's the power of maturity in speech, and that's exactly what we're diving into today. Because sounding immature in English isn't about your age. It's about specific habits and patterns that make people perceive you as less credible or less confident.
So what are those patterns? What should people be looking for in themselves?
There are several, and the good news is that once you know what they are, you can change them immediately. You don't have to wait. You can start today.
I'm ready to learn.
All right, the first big one is using too many casual expressions. Now, casual language isn't bad. It has its place. But there's a time and place for it. When you're trying to communicate something important or when you want to be taken seriously, casual language can undermine your entire message.
What do you mean by casual expressions? Can you give me examples?
Things like gonna, wanna, kinda, sorta. These are fine with your friends. You can use them casually, but in a professional setting or when you want to be taken seriously, they make you sound less mature and less credible.
So instead of I'm gonna do that, you'd say,
I'm going to do that, or I will do that. Same meaning, completely different impression.
that's such a simple change, but I can see how it matters.
It really does. And here's another one. Using like as a filler word. I use it all the time without thinking about it. Do you do that?
Everyone does. It's like super important and like, I think we should do something about it. See how that sounds?
Exactly. But that's what it sounds like to other people when you do it constantly. The person listening hears those filler words over and over, and it makes them question your confidence.
That's harsh, but probably true.
It is. But here's the solution. It's simple. The solution is to pause instead. If you catch yourself about to say like, just pause. Don't fill the space with a word. Let there be silence.
So pausing is better than filling the space?
Way better. Pauses show confidence. They show that you're thinking carefully about what you're saying. They give your listener time to absorb what you said. But filler words make it seem like you're not sure of what you're saying.
I like that. So silence is actually your friend.
Silence is your friend. Mature speakers use silence strategically. It's powerful.
Okay, what's the next pattern that makes people sound immature?
Lack of clarity and structure. When you're immature in your speech, you tend to ramble. You jump from topic to topic. You don't really explain what you mean clearly. You go off on tangents. You confuse your listener.
So how do you fix that? How do you become more clear and structured?
You organize your thoughts before you speak. And I know that sounds complicated, but it's actually simple. Before you speak, take a second to think about what you want to say. What's the main point? What's the supporting evidence? How will you conclude?
That sounds like it takes forever.
It doesn't take long at all. It's literally just organizing your thoughts for a few seconds before you speak. Let me give you an example. Instead of, so like the project is cool and we should do it, but also there are problems and some people might not like it, you say something like, I believe this project has real potential. Here's why, and here's how we can address the concerns.
Wow, that's so much clearer and more respectful of people's time.
It is, and the person listening feels respected because you're respecting their time. You're being clear and organized instead of wasting their time with rambling. What's the next pattern? The third pattern is being overly apologetic. Immature speakers apologize for everything. I'm sorry, but maybe, sorry, this might be stupid, but I'm sorry, could I just say something?
Ugh, I definitely do this.
I apologize constantly. Most people do, especially in certain cultures, and especially women. We're socialized to apologize, to be nice, to not take up too much space. But apologizing for your own thoughts makes you sound less confident and less mature. So what do you do instead? How do you speak without sounding rude? You own your thoughts. You don't need to apologize for having an idea. You don't need to apologize for taking up space. You have a right to speak. But doesn't that sound rude? Like, won't people think I'm being arrogant? No, there's a difference between being confident and being rude. Confidence is saying, I have something to contribute, and I think it matters. Rudeness is saying it in a way that dismisses others or puts them down. That makes sense, so it's about the tone and the approach. Exactly. You can be confident and kind at the same time. In fact, mature people are both. They're confident in their ideas, but they're also respectful of other people. That's really helpful to understand. What's the next pattern? Not maintaining eye contact or speaking too quietly. When you speak quietly or look away, you're sending signals. You're signaling that you're not confident in what you're saying. You're literally telling people, don't take me seriously. So it's not just the words, it's the body language too. It's absolutely the body language, because communication is not just words. Studies show that only about 7% of communication is actually the words you use. The rest is tone, body language, facial expressions, and how you present yourself. That's incredible. So if I'm saying all the right words, but I'm looking down and speaking quietly, people still won't take me seriously? They won't, because subconsciously, they're picking up on your signals, and your signals are saying, I'm not sure about this. I'm not confident. So what do? How do you fix that? Make eye contact, not aggressive staring, just natural eye contact. Speak at a volume where people can hear you easily without straining, and speak a bit more slowly than you think you need to. Mature speakers don't rush their words. Why do they slow down? Does it affect the meaning? It doesn't affect the meaning, but it does affect the perception. When you slow down, it shows confidence. It shows that you're comfortable with silence. It shows that you believe what you're saying is important enough for people to listen carefully. That's clever. I never thought about that. It's not clever, it's just mature communication. And here's another pattern: using excessive emoji or exclamation marks in text communication, or using too many caps. But don't emoji and exclamation marks show emotion and enthusiasm? They do, but too many of them make you look immature or unprofessional. Instead of, OMG, yes, that's amazing, you'd write, I think that's a good idea. Same sentiment, more professional and mature. So it's about moderation. It's about moderation and knowing your context. With friends, emoji and multiple exclamation marks are fine. In professional communication with your boss or colleagues, tone it down significantly. What about the way we ask questions? Does that matter? Great point. Yes, it absolutely matters. Immature speakers ask vague questions or questions that make them sound uncertain. Like, do you think maybe, possibly, this could work? That's rough. That person sounds so unsure, right? A mature speaker asks clear, specific questions. What are your thoughts on this approach? Or can you help me understand your perspective on this? Much better. So clarity matters in questions too. Clarity matters in everything you say. And here's another thing. Immature speakers interrupt a lot, or they finish other people's sentences, or they talk over people. Because they're excited? Sometimes, or because they're not listening. They're just waiting for their turn to talk. But mature speakers actually listen. They let people finish, they wait their turn, and when they speak, people actually listen back because there's a mutual respect there. That's a nice cycle. It is. It's called mature communication, and it works both ways. If you listen to others, they listen to you. If you interrupt constantly, people eventually stop listening to you because they don't feel respected. Makes sense. What about our vocabulary? Does using simple words make us sound immature? No, actually, mature speakers often use simple, direct words. What makes you sound immature is trying too hard with big words you don't fully understand, or mixing slang with formal language. So it's about using words appropriately. It's about using words that fit the situation and that you actually understand completely. A mature English speaker might say, "I need to address this issue," not, "I need to remediate this perplexing conundrum." Giggling, okay, that's overdone, but I get it. Right, you're not trying to impress people with vocabulary you don't understand. You're trying to communicate clearly and effectively. So what's the big takeaway here? The takeaway is that sounding mature in English comes down to a few key things. First, be clear and organized in what you say. Second, don't apologize for your thoughts. Third, use body language and tone that matches your words. Fourth, listen to others. Fifth, use appropriate language for the context.
And all of these things together create the impression of maturity? They do, and here's something important that I want to emphasize. This isn't about faking it or being someone you're not. It's about developing real confidence, because when you speak clearly and listen well, you naturally feel more confident.
It's a cycle that feeds itself.
Exactly. You speak more maturely, people respond better to you, you feel more confident, you speak even better. The opposite is also true. You speak uncertainly, people don't take you seriously, you feel less confident, you speak even worse.
So breaking the cycle is the key.
Breaking the cycle starts with awareness. You have to notice when you're doing these immature patterns. Then change one at a time. Don't try to change everything at once.
That's good advice. So what's the first step someone listening should take?
Record yourself speaking. Just have a conversation with someone or talk to yourself about something you care about and record it.
And listen back?
Listen back. See if you notice the patterns we talked about. Are you using filler words constantly? Are you apologizing too much? Are you rambling? Are you speaking too quietly?
That could be uncomfortable.
It is uncomfortable, but it's incredibly valuable because you can't change what you don't see. You can't change what you don't notice.
Once you notice the patterns, what then?
You pick one pattern to work on, just one. Maybe it's eliminating filler words, or speaking louder, or being less apologetic. Practice that one thing for a week.
A whole week?
Yes, because change takes practice. It takes repetition. You're rewiring habits that you've had for years. 1 week of focused practice on one thing is realistic and doable.
And then you add another.
Then you add another, and before you know it, you're speaking with maturity and confidence.
I really like that approach. It's manageable and not overwhelming.
It is. And the beautiful thing is that once you start, you'll notice that people respond to you differently. You'll get more respect. People will actually listen to what you're saying, and that's going to reinforce the behavior.
So the confidence builds naturally.
It builds naturally because you're getting real feedback from the world. People are responding better. You're achieving better results. That's real confidence, not fake confidence.
That's powerful.
It is. And I want everyone listening to know that it doesn't matter if English is your second language or your third language or beyond. You can absolutely master mature communication. It's not about being a native speaker. It's about being intentional and aware.
That's so encouraging.
It is, because some native speakers sound immature and some non-native speakers sound incredibly mature and polished. It's all about the habits and patterns you develop.
Before we wrap up, I want to remind everyone to subscribe to Talk, Learn, Teach. We create content like this regularly to help you improve your English and your confidence in speaking.
Yes, please subscribe. We're committed to helping you not just learn English, but speak English in a way that commands respect and confidence.
And we'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment and tell us which of these patterns you recognize in yourself, or share a moment when you felt your confidence shift in your English speaking.
Because your story matters, and hearing about your journey might inspire someone else who's listening right now.
So please leave a comment. Tell us what you learned today. Tell us what pattern you're going to work on first.
And if you have questions about how to implement these changes, ask them. We read every comment, and we love helping our community grow and improve.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us. Your willingness to improve and grow is inspiring to us.
Remember, maturity in speech is not about perfection. It's about clarity, respect, and confidence. And those are things you can develop starting today, right now.
Subscribe to Talk, Learn, Teach. We'll see you next time.
Keep speaking, keep growing, keep building your confidence. See you soon.